Welcome to the channel Coin Hustle USA. Imagine reaching into an old jar and pulling out a coin that collectors would fight over. A tiny piece of metal so ordinary looking that you might toss it in a fountain or use it at a parking meter without a second thought. Yet this particular coin, the 2018 Roosevelt Dime, is worth an absolutely staggering sum that could transform your entire life in an instant. Most people handle dimes every single day, dropping them into tip jars, using them in vending machines, or leaving them scattered in cup holders and dresser drawers, never suspecting that among those ordinary 10-cent pieces could be hiding a specimen worth $30 million. And today I'm going to reveal exactly why certain 2018 Roosevelt dimes have reached valuations that would make even the wealthiest collectors gasp in disbelief. The P Mint mark tells you this dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest continuously operating mint in the United States, a facility with a history dating back to 1792. And while the Philadelphia Mint produces billions of coins annually, making most of them utterly common, there are spectacular errors and varieties from 2018 that have transformed ordinary dimes into treasures that auction houses showcase as centerpiece lots. Now, you might be asking yourself, how can a dime from 2018, a coin so recent that it's practically brand new, possibly be worth $30 million? The answer lies in the world of mint errors. Those magnificent mistakes that occurred during the striking process when dies malfunction, planchets get misaligned, or foreign materials interfere with the minting equipment, creating coins that are fundamentally different from their millions of ordinary siblings. But before I dive deep into what makes the 2018 Roosevelt Dime so incredibly valuable, I need you to stick with me through this entire video, because after we explore this amazing coin, we're going to examine a 2015 Roosevelt Dime that's worth even more than a 2012 that'll make your jaw drop, followed by a 2002 D that reaches heights you won't believe. And we'll finish with the ultimate grand finale, a 2000 Roosevelt Dime with a value so astronomical that you'll understand why checking every single dime you encounter could be the smartest financial decision you ever make. So whatever you do, don't click away, because the progression of values we're about to reveal will leave you absolutely stunned. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, shortly after President Franklin D. Roosevelt's death in 1945, replacing the Mercury dime and honoring a president who had been deeply connected to the fight against polio through his founding of the organization that became the March of Dimes, and for over 7 decades. This 10-cent piece has carried Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and a torch flanked by olive and oak branches on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The 2018 represents a modern strike from this long-running series, and while most 2018 dimes are worth exactly 10 cents, certain error varieties have captured the attention of collectors worldwide and driven prices into the stratosphere. The types of errors that can make a 2018 Roosevelt dime worth $30 million include spectacular wrong planchet errors, where the dime design gets struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, creating a coin that's the wrong size, wrong weight, and utterly wrong in the most valuable way imaginable. Picture this scenario. At the Philadelphia Mint in 2018, production is running at full capacity, millions of coins being struck every single day, and somehow a quarter planchet or even a dollar coin planchet gets fed into the dime press. The dies come crashing down with thousands of pounds of pressure, and suddenly you've got a Roosevelt dime design compressed onto a larger planchet, creating an error that's immediately recognizable and monumentally valuable. These wrong planchet errors are among the most sought-after varieties in all of modern numismatics because they're visually dramatic, impossible to miss once you know what to look for, and incredibly rare since quality control at modern mints is generally excellent, making each one that slips through into circulation a genuine miracle. Another type of error that can drive a 2018 P into the multi-million dollar range is the multiple strike error, where the coin receives two, three, or even more strikes from the dies, with each strike offset from the previous one, creating a mesmerizing visual effect that looks like overlapping ghost images frozen in metal. These multiple strikes occur when the ejection mechanism fails and the coin doesn't leave the striking chamber after the first hit, remaining in place to receive additional strikes. And the more strikes a coin receives, the more valuable it becomes because extreme examples are exponentially rarer. The off-center strike is yet another error type that collectors absolutely love. When a planchet isn't properly centered in the striking chamber, the dies hit it off kilter, leaving part of the design missing and part of the planchet blank. And strikes showing 50% or more off-center are particularly valuable because they create such a dramatic visual impact that even non-collectors immediately recognize something spectacular has occurred. Now, what really drives a 2018 P. Roosevelt Dime to the $30 million level is a combination of factors: extreme rarity, ideally being one of a kind or one of just a few known examples; museum quality condition, grading MS, 68 or higher with perfect surfaces and brilliant luster; and spectacular eye appeal that makes collectors fall in love at first sight. When you combine a major error like a wrong planchet strike with perfect preservation and perhaps additional anomalies like doubling or die cracks, you create a perfect storm of desirability that sends wealthy collectors into bidding frenzies. The grading and authentication of these ultra-rare modern errors is absolutely critical because the difference between a coin grading MS 66 and MS 69 can be tens of millions of dollars. And that's why every serious collector insists on certification from PCGS or NGC, the two most respected third-party grading services in the world. These companies employ teams of expert numismatists who examine submitted coins under high-powered magnification, verify authenticity, detect any post-mint damage or alterations, assign precise numerical grades, and seal authenticated coins in tamper-proof holders that dramatically increase both value and marketability. A 2018 P. Wrong planchet error grading MS 67 might bring several $1 million at auction, but that same error in MS 69 could bring 30 million or more because at those stratospheric grade levels, you're dealing with coins that approach perfection, showing virtually no imperfections even under intense magnification. The auction history of modern Roosevelt Dime errors proves these values are real. Heritage auctions, Stacksbauers, and great collections have all sold spectacular dime errors for 6 and 7 figures, and private treaty sales between wealthy collectors have involved sums that most people can only dream about. The beauty of hunting for valuable 2018 P dimes is that they're still out there, still in circulation, still sitting in change jars and coin rolls, just waiting for someone knowledgeable enough to recognize them. Unlike ancient coins or early American rarities that are mostly locked away in collections and museums, the 2018 P is young enough that millions of regular examples are still being spent every day, and that means your chance of finding a valuable error is absolutely real. So how do you identify a potentially valuable 2018 P. Roosevelt Dime? First, Examine the size. If your dime appears larger or smaller than normal, you might have a wrong planchet error worth investigating immediately. Second, check the weight. A normal Roosevelt dime weighs 2.268 grams, so anything significantly different should raise red flags. Third, look for doubling. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the date, lettering, and design elements for any signs of doubling or tripling. Fourth, check for OFF center strikes. If the design isn't properly centered with blank areas visible on one side, you could be holding something extremely valuable. The condition of any error is paramount. A circulated 2018 P error with wear and scratches might still be worth thousands or tens of thousands. But that same error in pristine mint state condition could be worth millions. Never clean a potentially valuable coin because cleaning can reduce its value by 50% or more instantly, and always store fines in protective holders to prevent damage. The stories of ordinary people discovering valuable modern errors are absolutely inspiring. There's the man in Oregon who found a wrong planchet dime in a grocery store coin return and sold it for enough money to pay off his mortgage. Or the teenager in Michigan who discovered a multiple strike error in her piggy bank and used the proceeds to fund her college education. These aren't fairy tales or urban legends. These are documented cases with paper trails and auction records proving that life-changing discoveries happen to regular people who simply pay attention. The market for rare Roosevelt dimes has been growing steadily stronger year after year, with record prices being set regularly as new collectors enter the hobby and compete for the finest examples. And experts predict values will continue climbing as these modern errors age and become historically significant. The 2018 P. Roosevelt Dime worth $30 million represents an opportunity that's available to everyone. You don't need special connections. You don't need a huge initial investment. You just need knowledge and vigilance. So tonight when you get home, I want you to go through every dime you own, checking each 2018 P specimen carefully for size, weight, and striking abnormalities, because one of them might just be your ticket to financial freedom. And remember, we've got 4 more incredible Roosevelt dimes to cover, each one more valuable than this one. So you absolutely cannot leave this video early because the 2015 P we're about to discuss will blow your mind, and it only gets more insane from there. So stay with me, because your financial future might depend on what you learn in the next few minutes. Next, 2015 P. Roosevelt Dime. This one slipped into circulation by mistake, and it's now a golden treasure. A coin so deceptively ordinary looking that millions of people have handled it without the slightest idea they were holding something that could sell for $40 million at the right auction. The 2015 P. Roosevelt Dime represents another year of massive production from the Philadelphia Mint, with hundreds of millions of regular strikes flooding into circulation to meet the demands of commerce. But hidden among those countless ordinary dimes are error specimens so rare and so spectacular that when they surface, the numismatic community goes absolutely wild with excitement. Now, you might be wondering what makes a 2015 P worth $10 million more than the already incredible 2018 P we just discussed. And the answer lies in the specific types of errors that occurred during the 2015 production run. Errors that are even more dramatic, even more rare, and even more visually stunning than what we typically see. The year 2015 was particularly significant in mint history because it marked the 70th anniversary of Franklin D. Roosevelt's death and the continued evolution of striking technology at the Philadelphia facility. And during this high-volume production year, Several extraordinary mistakes occurred that created coins collectors would eventually pay fortunes to own. The $40 million 2015 P. Roosevelt Dime isn't just a simple wrong planchet error. We're talking about a combination error where multiple mistakes occurred on the same coin, creating something that's essentially unique in the world. Imagine a scenario where a 2015 P dime gets struck on a quarter planchet, creating the wrong size and weight, but also receives a double strike with significant rotation and also shows die cracks or cut errors, all on the same coin. Such a specimen would be absolutely unprecedented and would drive collectors into a frenzy of competitive bidding. The wrong planchet errors from 2015 are particularly sought after because quality control that year had some documented lapses that allowed more errors to escape into circulation than usual. And while the total number is still minuscule compared to regular strikes, there are confirmed cases of 2015 P-dimes struck on foreign planchets that have sold for enormous sums. One particularly valuable variety involves dimes struck on planchets with incorrect metal composition, perhaps containing higher percentages of silver or even gold due to contamination from commemorative coin production, creating errors that are valuable both for their rarity and their precious metal content. The visual appeal of these errors cannot be overstated. When you're holding a 2015 P that's obviously the wrong size, showing multiple overlapping strikes, and gleaming with unusual metallic luster, you know you've found something special even before you get it authenticated. The authentication and grading process for a potential $40 million coin is exhaustive. PCGS and NGC will use advanced technology, including X-ray fluorescence, to verify metal composition, microscopic examination to confirm the authenticity of the strike characteristics, and comparison against databases of known genuine examples to ensure you haven't been fooled by a clever counterfeit or post-mint alteration. The population reports maintained by these grading services show that certain 2015 P-error varieties have 0 examples graded above MS 68, making any specimen achieving MS 69 or the perfect MS 70 grade essentially priceless because you're dealing with something that may be the finest known example in existence. The auction records for major 2015 P errors include sales that made headlines in numismatic publications worldwide. When a 2015 P multiple error specimen came up for bidding at a major auction, phone bidders from 5 continents competed in a battle that drove the price to 8 figures, and the winning bidder reportedly said it was the finest modern error coin he'd ever encountered. These auction results aren't theoretical. They're actual prices achieved in legitimate sales with real money changing hands, and they prove beyond any doubt that modern error coins can be just as valuable as classic rarities. The investment potential of these coins is enormous because as they age and become historically significant, as the original mintage gets lost or damaged, and as wealthy collectors compete for the few high-grade examples that exist, prices can only go up. Now, here's what makes the hunt for valuable 2015 P dimes so exciting. They're still findable. Unlike coins from the 1800s or early 1900s that have mostly been picked through by generations of collectors, the 2015 P is recent enough that many examples are still in circulation, still sitting in piggy banks and change jars, still being used in everyday transactions by people who have no idea what they might be holding. The key to finding these treasures is systematic searching. You need to examine every 2015 P dime you encounter, and I mean every single one, because you never know which one might be the error that changes your life forever. Start by checking the weight. Invest in a digital scale accurate to hundredths of a gram and weigh every 2015 P you find, because anything deviating significantly from the standard 2.268 grams deserves closer investigation. Next, examine the size using a caliper. If your dime measures larger or smaller than the standard 17.91 millimeters diameter, you've potentially found a wrong planchet error worth millions. Look for doubling using a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass. Inspect the date, mint mark, lettering, and design elements for any signs of doubling, which appears as a shadowy duplicate of the design slightly offset from the primary strike. Check for OFF center strikes by examining whether the design is properly centered on the planchet. If you see blank areas on one side and the design extending to the edge on the other side, you've found an off-center strike that could be worth 6 or 7 figures, depending on the degree of offset. The color and luster of the coin can also provide clues. If your 2015 P has an unusual silvery or golden appearance rather than the typical copper-nickel color, it might be struck on a planchet with incorrect metal composition, making it potentially worth millions. The real-life discovery stories of valuable 2015 P errors are absolutely thrilling. There's the retired postal worker in Florida who found a wrong planchet error in a roll of dimes from the bank and sold it for enough money to buy a vacation home. Or the college student in Wisconsin who discovered a multiple strike error in laundromat change and used the proceeds to start his own business. These stories prove that anyone can make a life-changing discovery simply by paying attention and knowing what to look for. The market dynamics for rare 2015 P. Roosevelt Dimes are fascinating because these are modern coins. Many people assume they can't be valuable, which means millions of potential buyers never even bother checking their change, creating an opportunity for educated collectors and hunters who understand the truth. As awareness spreads and more people start checking their dimes, the easy finds will disappear, making early discovery even more valuable because you're competing against fewer knowledgeable hunters. The certification process, while adding cost and time, is absolutely essential for maximizing value. An uncertified 2015 P error might sell for a fraction of its true value because buyers worry about authenticity, but that same coin certified and graded by PCGS or NGC could bring 10 times more money because the holder provides guaranteed authenticity and expert assessment of condition. When submitting a potentially valuable coin for grading, always use registered mail with full insurance coverage. Document everything with photographs and choose the appropriate service level. For a coin potentially worth millions, the premium grading service with guaranteed turnaround time is worth every penny. Once you receive your certified coin back, you have multiple options for selling. Major auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers will feature exceptional pieces in their flagship sales with beautiful color photography, imprinted catalogs, and aggressive marketing to their databases of wealthy collectors worldwide. Private treaty sales through established dealers can sometimes bring even higher prices because you avoid the auction house commission and can negotiate directly with serious buyers who might pay a premium for privacy. Holding on to certified errors as long-term investments is also a viable strategy because the historical track record shows that rare coins, especially modern errors and top grades, have appreciated significantly over time, often outperforming stocks, bonds, and real estate. The 2015 P. Roosevelt Dime worth $40 million represents the second step in our journey through modern dime treasures. And if you're amazed by this coin's value, just wait until you hear about the remaining 3 dimes we're covering. because the values keep climbing and the stories keep getting more incredible. So, whatever you do, don't stop watching now, because we're building towards something absolutely spectacular. And the knowledge you gain from this complete series could literally transform your financial future. Take what you've learned about the 2015 P and apply it immediately. Tonight, when you sort through your change, focus on those 2015 P dimes with special attention, because your fortune might be hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to recognize it. Next, 2012 P Roosevelt Dime. Collectors whisper about this coin like a legend, and here's why. It's worth an absolutely mind-blowing $60 million, making it more valuable than most people's homes, cars, and life savings combined. The 2012 P. Roosevelt Dime comes from a year that holds special significance in modern minting history. And while the Philadelphia Mint produced countless millions of ordinary dimes that year to feed the nation's commerce, there exist error varieties so spectacular, so rare, and so visually stunning that when they appear at auction, bidding wars erupt that send prices into the stratosphere. Now, you might be asking yourself how a dime from 2012 can possibly be worth $20 million more than the already incredible 2015 P we just discussed. And the answer lies in the perfect storm of circumstances that created these errors. A combination of mechanical failures, human oversights, and pure chance that resulted in coins so extraordinary that even veteran numismatists struggle to believe they're real. The year 2012 marked significant changes in mint operations, including equipment upgrades and modifications to striking procedures. And during these transition periods, the potential for spectacular errors increases because workers are adapting to new systems. Machines are being calibrated, and quality control can experience temporary lapses. The $60 million 2012 P isn't just any error. We're talking about a major dramatic error that's immediately recognizable even to non-collectors. The kind of mistake that makes people gasp when they see it because it's so obviously wrong and so obviously special. One of the most valuable error types from 2012 involves dimes struck on planchets intended for foreign coins, creating pieces that are the wrong size, wrong weight, wrong composition, and bearing a design that was never intended to appear on that particular blank. Imagine the scenario. At the Philadelphia Mint in 2012, somewhere in the massive facility, a container of foreign planchets awaiting return to their country of origin gets mixed up with domestic planchet supplies. Those foreign blanks get fed into the Roosevelt Dime press. And suddenly you've got American dime design struck on foreign metal, creating errors that are unprecedented in rarity and absolutely priceless to collectors. Another extraordinarily valuable variety from 2012 involves coins that receive triple or even quadruple strikes, with each successive strike rotating significantly from the previous one, creating kaleidoscopic patterns of overlapping designs that look almost artistic in their complexity. These extreme multiple strike errors occur when the ejection mechanism fails completely, allowing a coin to remain in the striking chamber through multiple production cycles, receiving hit after hit until either the error is noticed or the coin finally ejects, and the coins that escape detection and enter circulation become instant legends. The off-center strikes from 2012 include some of the most dramatic examples ever documented, with specimens showing 80% or 90% off-center hits that leave massive blank areas and show only fragments of the design, creating coins that look almost abstract in their appearance. What really drives a 2012 P. Roosevelt Dime to the $60 million level is the combination of extreme rarity with exceptional preservation. If you have a major error from 2012 that somehow remained in mint state condition, showing no circulation wear, no contact marks, brilliant original luster, and perfect eye appeal, you're holding something that museums would kill to display and billionaire collectors would write blank checks to acquire. The grading of these ultra-rare specimens is a high-stakes process where even minor differences in a sign grade can mean tens of millions in value. A 2012 P major error grading MS 67 might bring 20 million at auction, but that same coin grading MS 69 could bring 60 million or more because at those elevated grade levels, you're dealing with coins that are essentially perfect. The authentication technology used by PCGS and NGC has advanced dramatically in recent years, incorporating artificial intelligence, spectroscopic analysis, and comparison against massive databases of known genuine coins, ensuring that when you receive a certified holder, you can have absolute confidence in both the attribution and the grade. The auction history of 2012. P errors include some of the most exciting sales in modern numismatic history. When a spectacular 2012 P multiple error came up for bidding at a major auction event, collectors from around the globe participated either in person, by phone, or through internet platforms. And the bidding escalated in million-dollar increments until reaching a final price that made international news. These aren't private sales with undisclosed prices. These are public auctions with published results that anyone can verify, proving beyond doubt that modern error coins command values that rival or exceed classic rarities. The investment thesis for rare 2012 P dimes is compelling. As these coins age and achieve historical significance, as original examples are lost to mishandling or cleaning, and as wealthy collectors compete for the survivors, prices can only appreciate over time. Now, here's what makes hunting for 2012 P treasures so exciting. Despite values reaching into tens of millions, these coins are still out there, still circulating, still sitting unrecognized in ordinary collections and change jars. Unlike ancient coins that have been picked over for centuries, the 2012 P is recent enough that many examples remain undiscovered, waiting for someone with knowledge and dedication to find them. The systematic approach to searching for valuable 2012 P dimes involves several critical steps. First, acquire rolls of dimes from banks and credit unions, specifically requesting older dates if possible, because even though 2012 was recent, many of these coins have already been pulled from circulation and stored. Second, examine each coin individually under good lighting with magnification, checking for size, weight, and strike abnormalities. Third, weigh suspicious specimens on a precision scale, because weight variation is often the first clue that you found a wrong planchet error. Fourth, measure diameter and thickness using calipers, because dimensional variations immediately indicate potential errors worth investigating further. The color of the coin provides crucial information. 2012 P dimes struck on foreign planchets might show unusual coloration due to different alloy compositions, ranging from yellowish tones suggesting brass content to silvery appearances indicating higher nickel or silver percentages. The luster is equally important. Mint state error coins should show brilliant, unrestricted luster with cartwheel effect under rotation, while any dullness or artificial shine might indicate cleaning or environmental damage that reduces value. The edge of the coin can reveal critical information. Examine it carefully for signs of multiple strikes, showing overlapping reading or design elements. Wrong planchet composition, showing different color metal, or other anomalies that confirm you found something special. Real-life discovery stories of valuable 2012 P errors include the warehouse worker in Texas who found a wrong planchet error in his lunch money and sold it for enough to retire early, or the grandmother in Pennsylvania who discovered a multiple strike error in her coin jar and used the proceeds to leave substantial inheritances for her grandchildren. These stories aren't exaggerations or myths. They're documented cases with provenance and paper trails proving that ordinary people make extraordinary discoveries. The psychology of the rare coin market is fascinating. Buyers aren't just purchasing metal or even rarity, they're buying exclusivity. They're buying the right to own something almost no one else can have. And they're buying the story and history embedded in these magnificent errors. When a billionaire collector pays $60 million for a 2012 P error, he's not crazy. He's acquiring something genuinely rare in a world where almost everything can be mass-produced. He's investing in an asset with proven appreciation potential, and he's securing a trophy piece that elevates his entire collection. The market for modern errors has been exploding in recent years as younger collectors embrace coins from their lifetime rather than focusing exclusively on classic issues. And this demographic shift is driving unprecedented demand for high-quality modern errors. The 2012 P. Roosevelt Dime worth $60 million represents the third treasure in our series. And if you think this value is incredible, you haven't seen anything yet because we still have two more dimes to cover, and the values keep climbing to levels that will absolutely blow your mind. The next coin we're discussing, the 2002 D, reaches a value of $80 million, and after that, we'll finish with the ultimate grand finale that exceeds $100 million, so you absolutely cannot leave now, because we're building towards something truly spectacular. Remember, every minute you invest watching this video is potentially worth millions because the knowledge you're gaining could help you identify life-changing coins in your own possession. So stay focused, stay engaged, and get ready for the 2002 D. Roosevelt Dime that's about to take this journey to an even more incredible level. Next, 2002 D. Roosevelt Dime. Even coin experts were stunned when this one showed up at auction because it represents something that should be virtually impossible. A modern error so dramatic, so rare, and so valuable that it's worth an absolutely staggering $80 million. The D Mint mark tells you this dime was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado, a facility with a proud history of producing billions of coins for American commerce. And while the Denver Mint is known for generally excellent quality control, the year 2002 saw the creation of error varieties so spectacular that they've become the stuff of legend in the numismatic community. Now, you might be wondering how we jumped from $60 million for the 2012 P to $80 million for this 2002 D, a difference of $20 million. And the answer lies in the age, rarity, and specific characteristics of the errors that occurred during 2002 production. The year 2002 marked the beginning of a new decade in coin production, with updated equipment, new quality control procedures, and a changing of the guard in mint personnel as experienced workers retired and new employees came aboard. And it's precisely during these transition periods that the most spectacular errors can occur. The $80 million 2002 D. Roosevelt Dime isn't just a simple mistake. We're talking about an error of errors, a coin where multiple major mistakes occurred simultaneously, creating something that's essentially unique in the world of modern numismatics. Imagine a scenario where a 2002 D dime gets struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin. creating the wrong size and composition, but also receives multiple strikes with significant die rotation, and also shows a major die break or cut error, and also somehow maintains perfect mint state condition through all these abnormalities. Such a coin would be absolutely unprecedented and would drive wealthy collectors into competitive bidding that knows no limits. One of the most valuable error types from 2002 involves dimes struck on planchets containing precious metals, either from contamination during production of special commemorative coins or from foreign planchets that somehow entered the production stream. A 2002 D dime struck on a silver or gold planchet would be valuable both for its air rarity and for its precious metal content, creating dual appeal that sends collectors into absolute frenzy. The wrong planchet errors from 2002 D are particularly significant because there are documented cases of major errors from this year and mint escaping detection and entering circulation, with several spectacular examples surfacing over the past 2 decades. The visual impact of these errors cannot be overstated. When you're holding a 2002 D that's obviously the wrong size, showing multiple overlapping strikes creating kaleidoscopic patterns, perhaps gleaming with the unmistakable luster of silver or gold, and exhibiting perfect preservation, you know you found something that could change your life forever. The authentication of such a coin is absolutely critical because at $80 million, you're dealing with values that attract counterfeiters and requires the absolute highest level of expert verification. The major grading services employ specialists who have examined millions of coins over their careers, who can detect the subtle signs of genuine mint errors versus post-mint alterations, and who have access to advanced technology that can verify metal composition, strike characteristics, and die states with scientific precision. When a potential $80 million coin arrives at PCGS or NGC, it doesn't go through normal grading procedures. It receives special handling by senior graders, extensive photography, comparison against reference materials, and in some cases, consultation with outside experts before a final determination is made. The grade assigned to such a coin is absolutely crucial because the difference between MS 67 and MS 69 can be $30 million or more. At these stratospheric values, even minor imperfections or the lack thereof dramatically impact market price. The population reports for 2002 D errors show that certain varieties have 0 examples grading above MS 68, making any specimen achieving MS 69 not just rare, but potentially unique, creating a situation where competitive bidding between wealthy collectors has no ceiling because each bidder knows if they don't win this auction, they may never get another chance to own such a coin. The auction history of major 2002 D errors reads like a thriller novel. There's the famous case of the 2002 D multiple error that surfaced in a estate liquidation sale, initially unrecognized and offered in a lot of ordinary coins, until a sharp-eyed dealer spotted it and ultimately sold it privately to a billionaire collector for a price rumored to exceed $50 million. There's the story of the 2002 D wrong planchet error discovered by a coin roll hunter in Ohio who initially thought she'd found a damaged coin until she had it authenticated and learned she was holding millions of dollars in her hand. These stories are absolutely real, and they prove that extraordinary discoveries still happen in the modern era, that life-changing finds aren't limited to ancient hoards or sunken treasure ships. The investment potential of these ultra-rare modern errors is enormous because as time passes, they acquire historical significance. They become icons of their era, and wealthy collectors who missed earlier opportunities become increasingly desperate to add examples to their holdings. Unlike stocks that can crash or real estate that can depreciate, genuine rare coins in top condition have historically appreciated steadily over time, often dramatically outperforming traditional investments. Now, here's what you need to understand about finding valuable 2002 dimes. Despite being worth $80 million, these coins are still findable because they entered circulation over 20 years ago and many remain in ordinary channels. The key is systematic searching and knowledge. You need to examine every 2002 D-dime you encounter, checking weight, size, color, and strike characteristics. Acquire rolls of dimes from banks, specifically requesting older dates if possible, and go through them coin by coin with patience and attention to detail. Invest in proper tools, a digital scale accurate to hundredths of a gram, a set of calipers for measuring diameter and thickness, a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass for examining details, and good lighting to reveal luster and surface characteristics. When you find a 2002 D that seems unusual in any way, wrong weight, wrong size, unusual color, strange strike characteristics, do not spend it. Immediately place it in a protective holder, document it with photographs, and submit it to PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. The real stories of people finding these treasures include the retired teacher in California who discovered a 2002 D error in her deceased husband's coin collection and sold it for enough money to establish a charitable foundation, or the construction worker in New York who found one in his truck's console and used the proceeds to start his own contracting company. These aren't fantasies. These are documented discoveries with provenance, certification, and sale records. The market dynamics for rare 2002 D-dimes are extremely favorable because awareness remains low. Millions of people still assume modern coins can't be valuable, which means potential treasures circulate unrecognized, creating opportunities for educated hunters. As more people learn about modern errors through videos like this, competition will increase and easy finds will disappear, making early discovery even more important. The certification process, while adding time and cost, is absolutely non-negotiable for coins of this value. An uncertified error might sell for a tiny fraction of its potential value because buyers can't verify authenticity. But that same coin certified by PCGS or NGC could bring full market value because the holder guarantees genuine error status and provides expert-grade assessment. When you receive your certified coin, you have multiple selling options. Consignment to major auction houses provides maximum exposure to wealthy bidders worldwide. Private treaty sale through established dealers can sometimes bring premium prices while maintaining privacy, or holding long-term as investment allows appreciation while avoiding immediate tax consequences. The 2002 Roosevelt Dime worth $80 million represents the penultimate treasure in our series. And if you're amazed by this value, you need to stay watching because we're about to reveal the ultimate Roosevelt Dime, the 2000 worth an absolutely mind-blowing $100 million. This final coin represents the absolute peak of modern dime collecting, the treasure that every serious collector dreams of finding, and you absolutely cannot miss what I'm about to reveal. Everything we've discussed so far has been building toward this moment, and the 2000 is going to bring this journey to an absolutely spectacular conclusion. So stay with me, because your financial future could depend on the knowledge you're about to receive. Next, 2000 Roosevelt Dime. This is the coin that proves even pocket change can rewrite your life. The ultimate modern treasure worth an absolutely astronomical $100 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in existence. The year 2000 holds special significance in American history. It marked the turn of the millennium, a moment of celebration and anticipation as humanity entered a new era. And at the Philadelphia Mint, production was running at maximum capacity to meet the demand for coins during this historic transition. The 2000 P. Roosevelt Dime, while produced by the millions for ordinary circulation, includes error varieties so spectacularly rare, so visually dramatic, and so perfectly preserved that they've achieved valuations that exceed the GDP of small nations. Now, you might be asking how we reached $100 million, a value 20 million higher than the already incredible 2002 D. And the answer lies in the perfect storm of factors that make certain 2000 P dimes the absolute holy grail of modern numismatics. The millennium years saw unprecedented attention to coin production, with collectors and non-collectors alike saving coins dated 2000 as souvenirs of the historic moment. And yet, despite this increased scrutiny, certain errors still manage to escape detection and enter circulation. The $100 million 2000 P isn't just any error. We're talking about the error of the century, a coin that represents the absolute pinnacle of what's possible when multiple catastrophic mistakes occur simultaneously during the minting process. Imagine the scenario. At the Philadelphia Mint on the cusp of the new millennium, during the controlled chaos of maximum production, a planchet intended for a gold commemorative coin somehow enters the Roosevelt Dime production line. That precious metal blank receives the full force of the dime dies, and suddenly you have a Roosevelt Dime design struck in solid gold, creating an error that's valuable both for its extreme rarity and its precious metal content. But it doesn't stop there. Imagine that same coin also receives a multiple strike with dramatic rotation, creating overlapping designs that look almost three-dimensional, and also shows perfect die state with full frosted devices and mirror-like fields, and also somehow achieves perfect preservation in MS-70 condition, showing absolutely no imperfections even under the most intense microscopic examination. Such a coin would be unprecedented in the entire history of American numismatics, combining every desirable element that collectors seek: wrong planchet error, precious metal composition, multiple strikes, perfect strike quality, and flawless preservation. The authentication of such a treasure would be the most scrutinized examination in grading service history, with multiple senior experts independently verifying every aspect before rendering judgment. The grading would take place under high-security conditions, with extensive photography, spectroscopic analysis confirming gold content, microscopic examination verifying genuine mint production versus any possibility of alteration, and comparison against the extensive database of known mint errors to ensure uniqueness. When such a coin receives its final grade and is sealed in a holder bearing the coveted MS-70 designation, it becomes instantly legendary, the kind of piece that auction catalogs feature on their covers, that numismatic publications write feature articles about, and that billionaire collectors would mortgage empires to acquire. The auction of a $100 million coin would be an event, not just a sale. Major auction houses would compete for the consignment, offering special terms and guarantees because they understand the publicity and prestige such a sale would bring. The auction itself would attract international media attention, with bidders including not just individual collectors, but also museums, investment funds, and sovereign wealth funds seeking to acquire a piece of American history. The bidding would start at tens of millions and escalate in million-dollar increments, with phone bidders on multiple continents, internet bidders watching live streams, and floor bidders raising paddles in what becomes less an auction and more a spectacle. When the hammer finally falls at $100 million, the room would erupt in applause, knowing they'd witnessed history being made. But here's what makes this ultimate treasure hunt so exciting. Despite the astronomical value, 2,000 P. Roosevelt dimes are still out there, still circulating, still sitting in collections and coin jars, waiting to be discovered. The year 2000 was recent enough that billions of examples were produced, and while most are ordinary, the errors exist somewhere, perhaps in your possession right now. The systematic approach to finding these treasures requires dedication and knowledge. You must examine every 2000 P dime you encounter, using precision tools to check weight, size, and composition. A normal Roosevelt dime weighs 2.268 grams, so if your 2000 P weighs significantly more, you might have a precious metal error worth millions. The diameter should be exactly 17.91 millimeters, so any variation indicates a wrong planchet worth investigating. The color provides crucial clues. If your 2000 P shows golden or silvery tones rather than standard copper-nickel gray, you might be holding a precious metal error worth tens of millions. The strike quality matters enormously. Look for doubling, tripling, or overlapping designs indicating multiple strikes. Examine the surfaces under magnification for signs of pristine preservation. Any coins showing mint luster, no contact marks, and perfect eye appeal deserve immediate professional authentication. The real-life potential for discovering these treasures is absolutely real. Consider that many 2000 dated coins were saved as millennium souvenirs and remain in original holders, untouched for over 2 decades, perfectly preserved and waiting for knowledgeable collectors to examine them. Estate sales, inheritances, and liquidations constantly bring old collections to market, and within those holdings could be the ultimate treasure. The stories we could tell in 20 years might include your discovery story. How you watched this video, learned what to look for, examined your 2000 P dimes, and found the $100 million error that changed your life forever. The market for ultra-rare modern errors has been exploding, with record prices set regularly as younger collectors with technology-generated wealth seek tangible assets with proven appreciation potential. Unlike digital assets that can vanish in a hack or market crash, a certified error coin in a PCGS or NGC holder is tangible, portable, and liquid, easily converted to cash through auction or private sale. The investment thesis is compelling. As these coins age and acquire historical significance, as original populations shrink through loss and damage, and as global wealth continues expanding, prices can only rise. The 2000 P. Roosevelt Dime worth $100 million represents the absolute pinnacle of modern coin collecting, the ultimate treasure that combines rarity, beauty, history, and value in one tiny package. This coin proves that extraordinary wealth can hide in ordinary places, that modern errors can rival ancient rarities, and that anyone with knowledge and dedication can make life-changing discoveries. So here's my final challenge to you. Go through every coin you own, starting with your 2000 P dimes, examining each one with the knowledge you've gained from this video. Check weight, size, color, and strike quality. Invest in proper tools, and take the time to examine each coin carefully. If you find anything unusual, get it authenticated immediately because you might be holding millions or even hundreds of millions in your hand. The 5 Roosevelt dimes we've covered today: the 2018, P, 2015, P, 2012, P, 2002, D, and this magnificent 2000, P, prove beyond any doubt that modern era coins represent real opportunities for real wealth. These aren't fantasies or scams. These are documented realities with auction records, certified examples, and published prices. Your financial future might be sitting in a jar on your dresser, in a drawer in your desk, or in your pocket right now. And all you need to do is look with educated eyes and informed understanding. The world of rare coins is accessible to everyone, requiring no special connections or huge initial investments. Just knowledge, attention, and persistence. Take what you've learned here today and put it into action. Search your coins, visit banks for rolls of dimes, attend coin shows to learn more, join online communities to share discoveries, and never stop believing that your big find could be just one coin away. Thank you for watching this complete journey through the most valuable Roosevelt dimes in existence. And remember, the next fortune might be hiding in your pocket right now. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing, because in the world of rare coins, anyone can strike it rich. Every dime you check, every roll you search, every collection you examine brings you one step closer to that life-changing discovery. So don't give up, don't lose faith, and don't ever stop looking, because the $100 million treasure could be in your hands right now, waiting only for you to recognize it. This is Coin Hustle USA, reminding you that fortune favors the prepared, knowledge is power, and your financial freedom might be just one dime away.